everyone, welcome back to Cherry Theory. My name is Melancy, and today I'm here to share the 8th strategy of the 36, called Openly Repair the Walkway but Sneak Through the Passage of Chencang. So, what does 暗度陈仓 really mean? The phrase originates from the Chu Han contention where Liu Bang, the Han leader and emperor, retreated to the lands of Sichuan to prepare for a fight with Chu leader Xiang Yu. In many ways, it's similar to another phrase called make a sound in the east, then strike in the west, which is I have already talked about in another video. Please check the description below and check it out. But instead of simply spreading confusing information and news to draw the enemy's attention, this phrase also uses physical distraction to further misdirect the enemy. The decoys have to be directly witnessed by the enemy, because this way the enemy will form their own ideas about the distraction. Instead of being told what to do, what to believe, they experience in firsthand. The historical story took place towards the end of the Qin dynasty of China. At that time, several groups of rebels had broke away from the old kingdom because they wanted to escape from the central imperial rule. The most powerful leader of rebels was a man named Xiang Yu of the western Chu country. At one point, he proclaimed that any other rebel leader could capture the capital of Qin, could be able to keep the territory as a reward. One day, a less popular rebel leader named Liu Bang actually captured the capital of Qin. When Xiang Yu heard of this, he was not happy because his intention was to capture the Qin for himself. However, when Liu Bang was offered the Qin territory, Liu Bang was very smart and he refused the honor. Instead, he accepted another reward, which was a distant territory in the province of Han by sending Liu Bang to a very far away place. Xiang Yu was able to save face and secure his position in court. Now, as Liu Bang was traveling to his faraway lands, he came across a difficult road. There was a wooden walkway which ran along some steep cliff walls. The army could either cross it or take a much longer route through a town called Chencang. And over the mountain, after some inspections, Liu Bang decided that the walkway was good enough and crossed it. After crossing the walkway, Liu Bang's advisor Zhang Liang pointed out that he was still concerned about Xiang Yu. He suggested that Xiang Yu would think they are still too much of a threat, as far away as the Han province. So, in order to make him feel less threatened, he said to Liu Bang, "Would it not be wise to burn and destroy the wooden walkway, which we have just passed over? This will prove to the world that you have no intention of marching east again," and thus set Xiang Yu's mind at ease. Liu Bang agreed and had his men burn the walkway, but he had another plan in his mind. With the walkway gone, Liu Bang's strategist ordered his men to secretly begin preparing to turn around and go back to Guangzhou. Soon after, Xiang Yu received the news of burning of the walkway, and he was pleasantly surprised. Now that the walkway was gone, there would be no threat from Liu Bang, so he relaxed and dismissed his army. Finally, after several months of preparation, Liu Bang was ready to march east and fight Xiang Yu for control of the empire. First, his general strategist Han Xin ordered some of his men to start fixing the wooden walkway. Next, he secretly sent his main forces back by going over the mountain and through the town of Chencang, now is Baoji in Shanxi province, China. When the news of walkway repairs reached Xiangyu, he immediately ordered his general Zhang Han to lead an army and place themselves at the end of the walkway. The plan was to wait there until the repairs were complete, and then they could fight against Liu Bang's army, leaving them no chance to break out. This was the obvious strategy for such a situation, isn't it? Well, sometimes later, when Zhang Han's army had reached the walkway, Liu Bang's men came out of Chencang, which was well behind Zhang Han's army camp. They launched a surprise attack on Zhang Han from the back, and at the same time, Liu Bang was able to send in some of his soldiers from the front. Xiangyu's general Zhang Han was defeated but managed to escape to the capital with the news. This time, Xiangyu sent out 3 armies to attack Liu Bang, chasing him all the way to Zhongyang, where Liu Bang and the rest of his army were trapped. In the end, Liu Bang won the battle, but not until after he used another strategy called moat-like golden scatter, which will be the subject of one of my future videos. Sorry to leave you guys in a cliffhanger, but I guess you guys just have to come back and see how this ends. In addition, there is a further story about Liu Bang's use of this stratagem. Again, this takes place during the Chu-Han contention at the time when Xiangyu had a large advantage over Liu Bang. This time, a banquet was arranged, and Xiangyu had invited Liu Bang to this banquet with the sole purpose of killing him. However, during the meal, Liu Bang flattered Xiangyu with many modest words and charming words about his process as a leader and strength as a military leader. This caused Xiangyu to hesitate to kill Liu Bang, and Liu Bang, with the help and the protection of some other lords, took this opportunity to escape from the military base of Xiangyu, thereby giving him the opportunity to not only fight another day, but to win another day. Okay, now let's have a really quick review of the story that we have talked about earlier. Basically, at that time, Xiangyu and Liu Bang faced off at Hongmen. We call it Hongmen Yan. Liu Bang's army of 100,000 could not resist Xiangyu's army of 400,000 army. In order to survive, Liu Bang burned down the walkway leading to Hanzhong and showed Xiangyu his determination to not return through the pass again. After months of planning and preparation, Liu Bang decided to counterattack Xiangyu. Before leaving, Liu Bang's military advisor, Han Xin, sent out his soldiers to openly repair the burned walkway. On the surface, they were just repairing a walkway, but what Xiangyu saw was Liu Bang would not giving up the battle for the Qin country. So Xiangyu sent his main force to counter the army once the walkway was complete. But in fact, Liu Bang's army quietly went through the city of Chencang and sent his troops to Hanzhong. Xiangyu was caught off guard, then was defeated. Well, to win the victory in a battle, the leader must know how to use both direct and indirect methods. The interplay between direct and indirect methods generates countless tactics. Sun Tzu said, attack the enemy with 2 conversion forces. The first is the direct attack, one that is obvious and for which the enemy prepares for his defense. The second is the indirect attack. The attack is sinister, that the enemy does not expect and which causes his forces at the last minute to lead to confusion and disaster. In summary, feints do not work well against experienced and focused opponents. Instead, one must take an actual attack to gain his attention. Once his forces are concentrated in defending the obvious attack, you attack from the second direction, thus catching him by surprise. 暗度陈仓 is the 8th strategy of the 36 stratagem, and it's often used with the term of 明修栈道. It means that to use fake action to confuse the enemy and let the enemy have an illusion, so as to achieve their own goals. Such a plan sounds like almost the same as making a sound in the east then strike in the west. But if you want to learn more about that strategy, please check out my other video in the description below. So what is the differences between these two stratagems? Well, on the surface, the stratagem of 暗度陈仓 and 声东击西 are both very similar. They basically mean to mislead the enemy's attention to face to a wrong direction. But the original Chinese text clearly distinguished between the two ideas. 声东击西，利其不自主而取之 making a sound in the east, then strike in the west. It's about directly informing your opponent what your attention is, and then doing something different. And 暗度陈仓，利其境而有主 is about to showing an action and let your opponent to react, but then expecting their reaction and responding with a surprise attack. In summary, they both are signaling some kinds of action to the enemy. However, one is explicitly announcing the action, while another one is implicitly performing the action. Making a sound in the east, then strike in the west makes an announcement to the enemy in order to confuse them before responding in surprise. And openly repair the walkway but sneak through the passage of Chencang is about repairing the walkway without explaining to your enemy why you're repairing the walkway, and let your enemy's suspicion dominate his mind. You can use this action to conceal your true intent and defeat the enemy. For example, in horror movie, 声东击西 scares you by directly showing you the bloody head, but instead, 暗度陈仓 scares you by creating scary atmosphere through the use of music and effects, and letting you to use your own imagination to rise the goosebump on your skin. 暗度陈仓's original Chinese text says, 视之以动，利其境而有主，易东而训. The characteristic of 暗度陈仓 is that it hides the real substance behind the action and does not make people aware of it. The opponent is left to his own deceives and to understand what is real meaning is behind that action. However, the action is meant to deceive the opponent and you respond in anticipation with an surprise attack. In short, 明修栈道 is about a public action. 暗度陈仓 is about a hidden true intention. You guys get it? This stratagem is sometimes known as the Trojan Horse stratagem, which is come from the tales of Greeks attempting to breach the walls of mighty fortress of Troy. For 10 years long, the Greeks had been trying to conquer Troy, and the Trojans had been trying to push the Greeks away, but no side was successful. Eventually, a Greek general called Odysseus had an idea. He proposed that the Greeks would fool the Trojans by pretending to sail away as if they had finally given up the fight and gone home, but they would leave behind a gift. they built a wooden horse that was empty on the inside and which has allowed them to place 30 of their own best fighters inside. Then they left the horse outside the city walls. When the Trojans saw the Greeks leaving, and they were delighted and brought the horse inside of the city. That night, while the Trojan people were sleeping, the Greek warriors who were hiding inside of the wooden horse finally climbed out and opened the gates of Troy. The Greek army had secretly returned, and now they were able to get inside of the city. That was the end of the Troy, as the city was burned and its people were killed. And from that story, we get the saying that be aware of the Greeks bearing gifts. I got some great ideas for you guys. You can confuse others by pretending to follow one path of action when in fact your real plan is to take another path. This is good for causing lasting surprises and deeper upsets. You can also launch several initiatives, some of them they are true and some of them they are false, to divert your opponent's attention. They won't know what is real and what isn't, and won't dare to ignore any of them. Now, let's have a really quick look at the original Chinese text for openly repair the walkway but sneak through the passage of Chencang. This idiom is commonly heard in Chinese language, and its ideas are often followed in many situations.
暗度陈仓，明修栈道，暗度陈仓。Openly repair the walkway, but sneak through the passage of Chencang. 原文：视之以动，利其静而有主，易动而训。译文：视之以动，句意指军事上的正面佯攻、佯动等迷惑敌方的军事行动。易动而训，句意让敌方被我方的迷惑行为，让对方错觉其行动的正确性，从而攻其不备。全句译文：此计是利用敌方被我方视之以动的迷惑手段所蒙蔽，而我既趁虚而入，以达军事上的出奇制胜。原文解析：指正面迷惑敌人，而从侧翼进行突然袭击。我方假意动作误导敌方以为是我方的真动作，而我方继续做出假动作，顺势为之，让敌人确信他自己的判断是正确的。暗度陈仓的暗比喻暗中进行活动，而后多比喻暗中进行某种活动。现代汉语中也有男女私通外遇的意思。译文解析 English translation Meaning advancing secretly by an unknown path refers to confusing the enemy from the front and making a surprise attack from the side. Our falsely actions misleading the enemy into thinking that they are our true actions. And we continue to make false moves to take advantage of the situation. This way, we convince the enemy that his own judgment is correct, while the 'an' in 暗度陈仓 refers to carrying out an activity in secret. Later, the meaning grew to include more specific meanings, such as having an affair.
So what exactly does this mean in English translation? Advance secretly by an unknown path and deceive the enemy with an obvious approach that would take a very long time, while surprising him by taking a shortcut and sneaking up to him. As the enemy concentrates on the decoys, he will miss you sneaking up to him. Today, sneaking through the passage of Chencang also has the meaning of having an affair or doing something that is illegal. Sun Tzu says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. I hope you guys learned something new today. Please share your thoughts on the comment below. And if you like the video, please give a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe my channel Cherry Theory. And follow me on Instagram as well. On this channel, I will be posting more videos about language, literature, history, fables, and small bites of wisdom. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.